Okay, what I'm talking about today is a Behringer X32 driver problem, driver issue. And a couple days ago, probably last week, I think it was Tuesday, there was a Windows update that I noticed happened on my system. Okay, which normally that's not an issue, it's a Windows update. But the next day after that happened, the Behringer board wouldn't come on. I loaded up my normal Cubase project as I was to start working, and the board wouldn't connect. I got a message from Cubase saying, "What driver do you want to use?" And I'm like, "Use the Behringer driver, like you always do." And it wouldn't connect to the board. So I went and I looked at the driver, and sure enough, the Behringer driver wasn't there, wasn't present. So I went back again to the device panel and pulled up, and neither was it there. It wasn't there at all. So after running through couple of troubleshoots, I couldn't get the board to connect to Cubase at all. And as it turns out, I troubleshooted everything before I even go to that. Tell you what happened. I troubleshooted everything. I have other USB devices plugged to my computer. I unplugged them all, plugged them all back in. I unplugged the board, plugged the board back in, and I as a suggestion from someone that I upgrade my card because I have the original board with the XUF card in it. So I updated the card. I ordered the new USB card and I installed that. Again, still nothing. The driver wouldn't even go. It wouldn't even load. The driver would not load. Back and forth with tech support and some really nice guys on the Behringer Pro forum on Facebook. Back and forth and a lot of coffee and a lot of hair pulling. And turns out that I could not get the board to come on. So I've tried every driver that I could possibly think of. Nothing worked. Nothing seemed to work. Nothing seemed to come through. And I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But as it turns out this morning, after all the troubleshooting, I got up again this morning and I loaded the system up. And again, same thing. I could hear the board talking to the computer. You get those little beeps, and the board talked to the computer. So which means they're communicating together with the original card because I put the USB card in that I bought, and I couldn't get it to even connect to the computer. So I took that out and put the card that did work prior to this little update, and it went back in and it heard it. But here's the interesting part. Normally, what I'm looking for, and I'm going to try and show you this, when I go into my studio setup in Cubase, and I pull this menu down, normally I look for up here, the driver, here. I pull this window down, and in that window, it would say Behringer XUF driver. That's what it would say in there. And I would connect to that, and that would connect my board, and everybody would be happy, yada, yada, yada. Well, that hasn't come up. It didn't come up. The driver was missing. It wasn't there anymore. I don't know what was wrong. So this is the only thing that was loading up, but according to this, it was not playing through my board. It was playing back through the computer. So after, again, much coffee going through this, I went to this and I clicked on here to open up this window here. And I went to the control panel of that. And lo and behold, as you can see, there is the Behringer driver there. So I highlighted the Behringer driver and then closed the window and then closed and said, okay, close that back and hit the play button and there's the sound. The board is working. The driver got moved. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why that happened. Frankly, I really don't care, because my system is now back up and running again. But that was really strange that would happen. That was really strange that would happen that way. That there was no sound in the board. The board wouldn't connect to the computer whatsoever in any form or fashion. But it's there. So I don't know why that moved or even if that is supposed to be that way. But as I said earlier, when I go to the device manager and I open up the sound and video, you can see there's the Behringer driver. The Behringer's there. Now, interestingly enough, when I shut the computer off, that driver doesn't stay. That driver now leaves when I shut the board off. It's never done that before. So I don't know if this helps someone, but if you were having the problem that I had, all I can tell you is don't use 5 pots of coffee like I did to try and figure out the problem, and don't pull out any hair. And I'm sure my wife is like sick of me by now. So I can hope this video helps you at some point to get some type of clarity as to where the driver is. I'm still going to contact Behringer and find out what the problem was with that and why is that happening, and maybe they can give me some answers. So if that helps you, God bless. Enjoy. Happy mixing.